This literally just happened. Posted by u/2people1love. I was looking for my phone. I just had it in my hand 30 seconds before, but sat it down to go put something away in my room. I came back to where I know my phone should have been and it wasn't there. I looked under a plastic Ziploc bag even though the bag was clear because I knew my phone was just there. I turned around and started looking elsewhere for just maybe 10 seconds. When I turned back around, my phone was on top of the Ziploc bag I had just lifted up and looked under. I'm always being fucked with like this. Moments like these can make you feel really powerless and crazy if you let it. I just laughed it off. What else can you do? Switch timelines. Posted by u/ikpatent13. This happened at the end of January, and I'm still trying to wrap my head around it. It was a normal night. I was hanging out in the dorm and my best friend, we'll call her Lexi, was on a date with this girl she'd just met. I was sitting in my bed watching Grey's Anatomy when I got this overwhelming feeling of needing to call Lexi. I called her and it immediately went to voicemail, so I was just thought okay, well she probably turned her phone off of her date. About 10 minutes later, I get a call from Lexi, but the call is really wavy and broken up, but I could make out the words "pick us up." Water. I immediately jump off my bed and head down to the water where she and her date were. When I get there, things feel very off, all the street lights are turned off / some were flickering, and there is one car there along with Lexi and her date's car. I get out of my car and walk over to Lexi's date's car and hop in and I'm like, what's up? What happened? Basically they tell me that they were sitting by the water when a group of men start getting closer and closer to them. They get bad vibes and go back to the date's new car, try to start it, and it doesn't start. Lexi tries to call me over and over again but the call won't go through. I tell her that. Around that same time, I got an overwhelming feeling of needing to call her, but it went straight to voicemail. When we switch over into my car, they realize that the men are gone, but the car is still there, only it's on the other side of the parking lot. Spooky, to say the least. I have heard about timeline switches in which all technology stops working. I'm wondering if, in an alternate timeline, those men hurt Lexi and her date, and the timeline switched to one in which they stayed safe. Also, the next day, Lexi and I woke up with extremely puffy eyes, nausea, and feeling weak and brittle. I wonder if the timeline switch took a toll on our body? Let me know what y'all think. Premonitions and a visit from my dying grandfather as a baby. Posted by u/clickclackcolosh. Starting back in 2012 I started having premonitions. I may have had them before growing up but never realized it until 2012. So anyway, I had a dream one night that a large C-130 military plane with some liquid holding tank on the roof crashed as I was in a field watching. I knew in the dream that the holding tank was symbolic but didn't know why yet. A few days later I saw an article where an Air Force plane crashed fighting fires out west. The liquid holding tank was symbolic of fighting fires. This creeped me out. My next premonition was standing in the shower one morning getting ready for work. Out of nowhere I had the thought about a house in a subdivision exploding. Totally unrelated to what I had been thinking of. At the time I don't know it's a premonition until I find proof later. So that afternoon while checking the news at work I saw where a house up north had exploded due to a gas leak. It happened that morning. I've had some others that were work-related and to global events. The reason I brought this up is because I was telling my dad about it one day and he admitted to me that he too has had them throughout his life and that his father had as well. In fact his father predicted one day that his store would be robbed that night. Then of course it happened. The next part of the conversation is where it got eerie, yet comforting at the same time. He said when I was a baby we lived hours away from his parents. We were in Maryland where he was stationed in the army and his parents back home in Arkansas. He came upstairs to check on me and his father was sitting in the rocking chair next to my crib. He said he blinked and looked twice and asked his dad what he was doing there. He said when he closed his eyes and opened them back up he was gone. A couple hours later he got the call that his father had passed away. Cats spawn in room after being let out. Posted by u/cynicalalien. This one's relatively short and just happened. I'm sitting in bed with my BF and he gets up to use the bathroom. I see one of the two cats in my room by the door and she leaves once my BF came back. Well, there goes the cat, I say, after watching her walk leisurely down the hall a bit before the door completely closes. My BF is like both cats are here and I look to see the cat on the pillow behind my head. I joke that I must be going crazy. A few minutes later I got up to pet one of the cats and make sure they don't break anything, since one was on my bedside table where there was glass. The other one is sitting by the door so I let him out this time. I waited for his tail to leave the doorframe before closing it. I turn around and guess WHOIT fucking is. Fucking bastard man cat. How? I don't know how to feel and my BF thinks I'm seeing things cause I'm tired. WTF. DL, Doctor, cats manifest in my room after watching each of them leave at separate times. I took a dump in a different dimension. Posted by u/Sifantasy Earl. Finally. After lurking for months I just experienced my first glitch. Sorry for the formatting, I'm on my phone. I was visiting a friend who lives in a 3-storied house and both her room and the guest toilet are on the 2nd floor. After we went to the shop together I went upstairs to grab something from her room and closed the door after me. Then to the toilet to relieve myself, and knowing the lock is tricky, I paid extra special attention to making sure I was locked before doing the deed. When I returned downstairs, my friend was upset asking me where I was hiding, all this time. She was shouting my name to ask me to bring her tobacco downstairs from her room, and the house has paper-thin walls, I definitely hear it. Then she described looking for me everywhere. She went to her room, and the door was open, minor and weird, could be the window, and then she went to the bathroom, only bathroom on that floor, and I confirmed it was the one I was in, seeing that the door was open and it was empty. She looked for me for a while in other rooms, calling my name until she got fed up and waited downstairs till I showed up. Due diligence. I checked. I pointed to the bathroom. I asked questions about how loud she called my name. It was the bathroom I was in and it was empty. All I remember was that the bathroom was a lot quieter than usually, not even a chirping sound from the birds outside. This is a great, honorable way to be inducted into this sub. I went to the toilet in a dimension that occupies the same space as an empty bathroom did at the same time. And I made it back, guys. The parallel world is doing just fine. Time skip or mimic? Posted by u/Wicked Ambassador. I came home from work one time last year and my partner's car was parked out in front. I unlocked the front door, went in and hung my keys up next to his. I checked the kitchen for him but noticed the basement light was on, his TV room is down there. I could hear the TV, so I gave a little whistle down the stairs to him to let him know I was home. He whistled back. I then went outside to the front porch to have a cigarette. As I was sitting there, he pulled up in his car. I shit you not. I didn't notice if his car was still there or not when I came out to smoke, but I looked up as he was pulling into the spot he was parked in when I got home. I almost threw up, I was so freaked out. He could tell something was up just by my face. I followed him inside to find his keys not hanging where I had seen them less than 5 minutes before and the basement light and television off. He told me had been at work all day. He thought I was just confused but he could see how scared I was so we thoroughly checked the entire house and no one was there. Time skip or mimic? Either way, I'm glad I didn't go down in that basement. Cigarettes saved my life that day. Nothing like that has happened since. Edit, earlier this year, not last year. This year just feels so long.
Thanks for watching. Please do like, share, comment and subscribe for more videos.